Hey everybody, Massachusetts Prepper here. Today I just want to get a little bit of footage of what's going on in the flower beds and in the raised beds. Now this is the flower bed that's next to the raised beds, and as you can see, we've just got a whole bunch of color going on here. Look at these lupins. They're going absolutely crazy, as well as the irises and the peonies. Now we've got some phlox that hasn't started flowering yet, and I forget what these little guys are called, but they're absolutely gorgeous. Now look at these lupins. Now once this peony opens here, these are probably my favorite ones. They are just stunning in color. And look at that iris there. These things look phenomenal. But wait until you see the peonies in all their glory. Now normally when these things finally open up, we usually end up getting some rain, and it just pummels them, takes them right to the ground, and we don't get to enjoy them. I'm hoping this year that we'll get to enjoy these beautiful peonies for quite some time. They're just absolutely beautiful. And look at these. I know the bees are really enjoying these. I'll have to get some still pictures of these as well. And then look at this glorious white one here. Just beautiful. So a lot of stuff really starting to happen in this flower bed. Let me take you over here to the other side. And as you can see, one of the girls are in there enjoying all the nectar. Still a lot of buds to open up yet on all these peonies. Look at this one, a variable shade of pink, and even the bumblebees are enjoying them. The lilacs are done gone by, but they were absolutely beautiful this year as well. And these little guys in the stump still holding their own. Need to get some more water out here for the bees. Put in the little bird bath here. And as you can see, grapevines are still doing pretty good. Carrots seem to be kind of slow. I'm not sure if it's this location or if they just don't like growing in a raised bed. But they're still moving right along, just not as well as I would have thought. Same way with the beets. They're starting to leaf out a little bit, but I'm not sure how well they're going to do in a raised bed. But we do have 3 rows of them. Some are doing better than others, but we're not seeing a whole lot of activity from the beets. Now these banana peppers are in the same bed, and they're kind of slow, you know, but they just came up a couple of weeks ago, so we'll have to see what they're going to do. But so far this bed with root crops like carrots and beets, they're not doing quite as well as I thought they would have. Let's look at our vine crops. Seems like everything on this side of the bed, closest to the path, is not doing that well. They're all kind of small, as you can see, compared to the ones on the other side. Now right here we have the pumpkins. And like I said, you know, the ones on this side here, they're kind of puny looking and not doing so well. those tomatoes that we planted in between, I don't know if we'll get any fruit off them, but you know, they're coming up and they're doing their thing. So, you know, these are the ones that came up from seed. And this is the zucchini squash. And again, on this side of the bed, they're just kind of puny compared to the ones over on the other side. They seem to be doing better. As we move over to the spaghetti squash, you know, this isn't quite as puny as the other ones over there, but still, it's not as big until we get to the far side, and that's where they seem to be doing better. And again, you can see these tomatoes that came up from seed. I left the bigger ones kind of just to see what they're going to do, if they're going to produce any fruits or not. Here we've got our cucumbers. Now last year I tried cucumbers in the bed down where I have the tomatoes planted now, and they just got eaten up by something. But the cucumbers seem to be doing much better, and they seem to be doing okay all the way across the board. And again, this is another row of cucumbers, and again, there's, you know, seem to be doing okay. So this bed, as well as all these wild tomatoes that came up from seed, you know, like I said, I just let them come up to see what they're going to do. They may not produce anything, or we may get a few tomatoes off them. Let's go over and check the peppers. Okay, so here we got our bell peppers, and you know, we still got some flowers coming on these, but most importantly, we've got peppers coming on quite a few of these plants. As you can see, we got some right here, and if I bring y'all down here, you can see we got some pretty good peppers already on these plants. Look at that beauty right there, guys. We have another one over there. I'm not sure how well watermelons are going to do here in the Northeast, but I did plant some because my son loves watermelon. And we do have a row of watermelon, and they're starting to leaf out. And this one has the biggest leaves, and it's on the same side as those other vine crops that weren't doing so well in that other bed. And these lilies that I got planted in here, as you can see, they're starting to develop their flowers. So they're doing pretty good. But we'll have to see how things are going to do. The peppers definitely seem to be doing good. Now the peppers and the tomatoes, I bought those as plants. Everything in this bed came up from seed. Everything from this bed came up from seed. Let's take a look at the green beans, because they came up from seed as well. Now, this is the green beans, and they have probably tripled in growth since the last update video I did. So these are coming right along. A lot of new growth on these. No flowers yet, but these will start producing probably late June, early July. Now, as y'all remember, if you watched the last video, this was a thick row of cherry tomatoes. I took and thinned these all down so they could have some more space. I left the strongest plants. So hopefully these will really take off now, and we'll have a good crop of cherry tomatoes. I'm not sure how well the onions are going to do. These came up from seed as well. They look like they're struggling. So we'll just have to wait and see, you know, just what these are going to do. Last year I planted my onions from, you know, onion sets, and we had a really good harvest on onions. These came up from seeds. These are large onions, but I'm not sure how well they're going to do. We'll have to see. Let's take a look at the strawberries. Look at the fruit on these strawberries, guys. Everywhere you look, there is strawberries, flowers. There's some more lilies that are coming up with flowering heads, so they're getting ready to flower. But I just can't get over the amount of fruit that we have on this second year's growth of strawberries. And that's just on the outside, guys.